Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another completed build. This is the Incredible Hulk from MPC. It was a snap kit. It's now being reproduced by round 2 models. It was a very simple kit, but being a snap kit and it's designed for kids, obviously, and kind of poses a few problems when you're trying to glue it. Excuse me. Just have a look here at the back of the box, which is just a piece of paper stuck on it, basically. You can see they give you the option of your choice of a clenched fist or open hands. I went with the open hand option because eventually I want to build something that he's holding up, and the clenched fist just looked like I don't know, just looked demented. Basically, just his arms are too, they're sort of too rigid, I guess, and just didn't look right. So I went with the open hands. I would assume this is from either the comic books or possibly the Lou Ferrigno Hulk, the series that was out, because here they sort of depict him with I guess light blue pants, even though it looks more purple on the camera than what it is here. But yeah, even though the box art they depict him with purple, which I guess what most people know him with purple, but I wanted to go a little bit of a different route, and again with the green too. I didn't want to go that neon comic book green. I sort of wanted to make it look like the sort of more modern movies, I suppose, a more realistic green. So this is what I've got. Let me just take away these boxes and stuff, get out the way. And yeah, that's what I decided to go with. Sort of the Avengers sort of green, I guess, even though, I mean, his face doesn't match the Avengers Hulk, but that's the colour that I liked. And again with the pants, I didn't go blue. I started off with blue, but then I sort of lightly misted some purple and dry brushed a bit of purple in it. So again, I wasn't a big fan of the comic book so much, so those colours were a bit bright for a model, made it look like a toy basically. So I just wanted to make it look a bit more realistic. I also added this little nameplate here, which I'm not sure if I'm keeping yet, but I was sort of just playing around with some moulds and some leather moulds. So that's basically a hot glue gun squirted into the moulds, and then just made squirted a big section of glue around it and stuck it in there. And I don't know, I haven't decided if I like it with or without the nameplate yet. But like I said, it's just sort of tacked on there with some blue tack, so it can easily be taken off. Now, as I mentioned, it was a snap kit, so basically you have the front and backs of the torso, front and back to the head. The arms were separate because obviously you had, clenched or open. The pants had a front and back to them. The legs had a front and back to each one, and it snapped together okay. There was a big sort of seam. Sorry for the shaky cam. There's a big sort of seam going through it, so it took a while to get rid of it. A lot of filling and sanding, all that stuff. That I love all that stuff. Seems like every model I do is is always filling and sanding. But yeah, basically my approach to it was I did all the skin, so I glued his head in, glued the arms and the torso and the legs together and everything, and filled up all the seams and painted everything green. And actually that approach to that I did was different to what I normally do. Instead of what I normally would do is find a base coat of green and then darken that green up for the shadows and lighten it up for the highlights. In this case I would do something different and something that I would do, like, if I was doing a digital painting or something, I would start with like the primer grey, and then I put black over all the crevices and the muscles, and then white over all the highlights, and then I put the base coat of green over it, and that allows all the white and the black to show through. So that's where the shading comes from. And you know, in this case, I think it worked well. I'm happy with that technique. I'll probably use it again in the future. You know, I think it would depend on the color though that you are base coating with. You know, because not all colors are gonna work well with that technique. I did the same technique on the pants too, which it seemed to work like that. Not as well, but still as good. On the pants, it was dry brushing involved, so that sort of accented more of the detail. But anyway, so I did all that, and then you know, I went on to the face, which basically just added some pastel work on it, and then, you know, painting the eyes and the teeth, and of course dry brushed the hair with some various greens and browns. I did do some very subtle veining on the skin, which kind of got lost in the subsequent layers. I don't know if you can really see it. You might be able to see it in there. And that was actually done before the base coat of green. So after I had finished doing the contrasting black and white, then I got in some blue and very dark green, and you know, just drew some veins everywhere all over him, and you can sort of see him more in person. The camera doesn't really pick it up that much, but anyway, I might be able to see that in the back actually. No, anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's it. That was that, and then I think the that technique, the veining technique, probably should have been done over the green, and then another base coat of green over that very lightly. The problem was, if I had done that, I would have lost the shading. So I guess the veining technique probably, you know, works well with doing the other technique. But anyway, we all learn. That's what it's all about. So anyway, once I got all the greens, all the skin done, I basically wrapped him in a plastic bag, some cling wrap actually, and I put it all over the torso and in the legs, and then I started working on the pants. But because of the way he's designed, half his leg comes up in until like the leg goes up and joins up to the knee, and the torso sort of joins, you know, right around. So just the way it was designed as a snap kit. So which meant that I couldn't glue the pants together and fix the seam up and then put him together unless I'd done some heavy modification and glue everything together, everything right at the end, which I wasn't prepared to do. I thought this way was easier. Anyway, I'm running out of steam here. Anyway, so once he was sort of cling wrapped, I glued him together, glued the pants together, fixed the seam up, painted the pants, and then pulled the cling wrap off. So that was that approach, and I think it worked well. You know, and also, I mean, if I had done it the other way, it would have been difficult to get all the undercut areas to try painting there. If I had glued him all together and then try paint it, you know, that's just, I don't know, it's just the way I did it. I'm just babbling on now. The video's going for too long. But anyway, once all that was done, then I put a bit of dirt on him, you know, around the butt area, and, you know, sort of in the crevices and along the edges here. You know, also on the front too, and on his feet and his nails. Now the nails are pretty much, I don't know if you can really see it properly here, but I layered it with different browns and yellows to kind of look like a nail, and then I gloss coated it, but I didn't really like the gloss coat, so then I flat coated it, and that gloss coat and flat coat kind of made it stand out from the skin. So that was worked out well. And then we come to the base. The base, I kind of went something similar to what was on the box, which I'll show you here. Obviously the figure looks nothing like the art they do there, because it just looked more toy-like. But the base, I like the base, the colours that they used. Apart from the ground, it kind of looked like a volcanic rock or something, just like there was a volcano nearby. So I sort of took the same idea but just changed it slightly. So Don't know if you can see it probably with light, but yeah, just sort of made it more dusty instead of making it look like liquid. And yeah, of course the rocks, you know, painted similar to what was on the box art. So yeah, all in all, I had a lot of fun with this, and you know, sorry I didn't do any updates along the way, because basically I was building this in between other projects, and I didn't really want to stop and do an update here and there, because it was pretty much literally 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and until I got to painting, and then that was pretty much just like a day's a day's effort in painting, and which is usually what happens with me. I get into it and just spend the whole day on it. But anyway, all in all, I think it came out great. I'm happy with him, and I just need to find out what I'm going to put on top. I had the initial idea of having some sort of nuclear waste canister, so I'm in the market, so to speak, for a canister that fits and looks about right in proportion. I mean, obviously he's a big guy, and you know, he's struggling to hold this thing, so it's got to be quite large, and that's what kind of worries me, is, you know, the size of the figure. You know, if there was a canister, it'd have to be something huge, you know, pretty much almost half his height for him to be struggling that much, I guess. And I don't want it to take away from the figure itself, this big canister, but yeah, so I'm sort of leaving that for now. I'm going to think about it. I also thought it'd be cool to have like a little business card holder, you know, just make sort of a rustic box on top and have business cards in there or something. But you know, as far as the figure goes, it's complete for now until I think of an idea. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think, and I'll take some photos and put up the slideshow. Thanks for watching, and catch you later.